Taiko Masala Dojo. I'm Laura.
I'm Isa.
I'm Yumi.
And we are No Taiko No Life. This is our fourth week. Talking about Taiko, all things Taiko. And this week we're going to talk about what we wear playing Taiko. And Yumi, you had some history?
Not history, but like when I go back to Japan, or when I grew up in Japan, I saw Taiko at the festival. And then at the festival, people usually wear happy, and then happy usually has like name of the town on it, and then maybe if the town has the symbol, they have the symbol print on the back. So each happy was very unique to that community. So you can just tell which community this person came from by just looking at happy. Or like a kodo, if you saw the performance of them, sometimes they just wear fundoshi. Or sometimes you like fundoshi.
I like fundoshi.
And the other thing is we call harakake, and it's almost like an apron. But you don't wear anything beneath it. So it's usually for men, but that's also a very common outfit for Taiko players in Japan in the community. And other things also, Giza, you want to mention about?
Well, I have seen several groups that they were hakama, like maybe you know it from the samurai style pants that kind of look like a little bit like a skirt with the wide legs where you don't see like the foot movement. You also see it in kendo or in other martial arts where they wear it. A lot of groups I've seen that wear that, and then maybe like a t-shirt with the name of the group on it or some other shirts or tops with it.
Those are traditional ones, but it's becoming more fashionable. No?
Right. And last week we were talking about women in Taiko, and traditionally the outfits and the attire had a great impact on what women could play. In kimono, in yukata, that's very constraining for, you're not going to be playing miyake or many of the very powerful pieces, but then a lot of arm movement and bachi styling and more precision, the different sort of power that women would bring to their playing then. And then, of course, men would play the more strenuous things that you would wear a fundoshi for, right? And maybe Sensei will show a picture of a fundoshi. Anyway, but now things have changed. I understand, just like Yumi said, each style of drumming, like suwa, we have a suwa happy that most players in New York Suwa Taiko Association will play when we play together. But each group has a particular heart. So choosing a happy once a group is really established, choosing and designing their happy is a very, I won't say a solemn, but a very heartfelt choice. Every member really has to come together and we decide what is our heart, what is our message, what are we giving, and then your happy will embody that and communicate it. And of course there are different happy for festival, for summertime, and then for a more formal concert that you might give on stage.
Yeah. And I think also it creates some sense of camaraderie. Like each group wears the same happy, so that creates the sense of like being in sync and having a good like teamwork.
Yes,
so that
absolutely.
will also help us play in harmony.
Right. And of course, we all try to wear our happy in the same way. So we might have a slightly different obi, which is the belt, or a slightly different, what's it called?
Hachimaki?
Hachimaki, which will express ourselves, but the main piece we're expressing all together. Hachimaki, which is the headband that we wear, is actually also very traditional. Yumi has a sua, Taiko.
So for sure, we wear very simple, the white hachimaki, and I don't know if I can do this quickly, but Sensen said that I should have ironed it. So it's a little wrinkly, but you're supposed to tie, and then both ends should be pointing up to the sky, kind of like horns. So
Little antenna.
yeah, this one.
So you'll have to iron it the next time.
Yes.
The next time you see Yumi, you will see the ends of her pointing up to the sky. So this is for a formal concert. For more of an informal concert and for amateurs or festival, like I would play in, there's something more casual. And I just wanted to show, I know that students, when they are taking a exam, might wear, is it still called hachimaki?
Yeah.
That will say fighting or win or victory. This one, of course, says, first of all, if you're going to have some writing on your hachimaki, it better be the right side up. You can tell me it's the right side up, because I have played with it like this, and it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous and distracting. So this means festival. Now, if you ride a motorcycle, you might really, or let's get physical, if you're from the 80s, this is, and we wore the headbands, but this is not the way that's traditional. Even though you can't see the writing, it would be more, I think a string works well. And this, instead of going around, it sits more like a crown on the top of your head. So, and instead of tying just a knot, there is a particular way of just one twist and then tucking up the ends. So even though you can't quite see it, I guess my point is that nothing is left to chance. Everything means something. When we walk on stage, we make our choices and we're expressing something that's traditional.
Yeah, and then hachimaki has a very practical purpose because it catches sweat. So it doesn't, your sweat doesn't come into the eyes and you can keep playing. And when Rola put hachimaki on her forehead, she twisted it, and that's called nejiri. Nejiri means twisting, and so we call it nejiri hachimaki.
Ooh, I never knew that. So I just wanted to mention also, not just happy, but now in the modern world, we often design and buy many, it's almost a joke among drummers. How many Taiko t-shirts do you have? So we take a class and we buy a t-shirt. And we buy 2 t-shirts because we sweat in one and then we put on another. This is the first outfit I ever played Taiko in. And it's a wonderful shout out to Mitsuha. And I'm bringing this back to them because they use this every year in their festival, which is the first place I ever saw Taiko Masala.
Matsuri on the back too.
And it says also Matsuri on the back. So that's very precious memory to me. The orange is not my color. Orange is not my new black. But and then one time I did play wearing yukata. And I think the hapi that we wear, I don't know if anyone has this or a hapi, is similar, kind of a stylized of kimono. And there's a very special way that we would wear. Now, anyone who has worn a kimono or yukata knows that what I'm doing is very casual, and it's only just the beginning of how you would put on a yukata or kimono.
How
And of course I have it wrong. That's why I need help. I need help. And even just tucking the side, the right side goes over the left. If the left is over the right, I'm being carried to the afterworld. But so we're playing taiko. It's a very lively art, so we take the right to the left. Now, imagine playing taiko with these sleeves, right? So when I've ever played taiko wearing yukata, or this sort of a sleeve, we have, and I know I will say this wrong, tasake?
Kasuki.
Tasaki. Thank you. I will learn it one day. And these are to bring the sleeves out of your way. And hopefully I will demonstrate this in a way that does not bring shame to Taiko Masala Dojo. So.
So this would be the happy that we usually wear when we play at festivals. So it's like this. I can put it on, but I'm not, usually we wear long black black pants underneath it and some white tabi. I brought the tabi, but we're not going to wear them. They look like this. So we all look the same. I also am not a good bow tire, so I'm going to put on the belt. So I don't have to help you with that. So we would wear a black shirt and black pants underneath this. I also need a longer belt because you're supposed to wear it at the hip, and I have a little wider hips than most Japanese people, I guess. So I can only tie it around once. I'm just going to make some kind of bow. Usually someone can help me. This is how it looks like.
So this week, we are going to talk about the fourth Suwa Taiko principle. Now, the first principle is about preparation, strengthening your body. The second principle is about just approaching the drum and taking the position in order to play. The third is actually about playing with your whole body. But that's just moving the bachi to the drum with your whole body. Now the fourth is actually about how we play. Strike the drum with focus and attention. And how is it in Japanese?
It says, Kataku ni arazu, uchi narase.
And uchi is striking the drum. And what do we know more from the Japanese?
So kataku means like slapping, banging the drum. So not just like hitting the drum without any purpose, without any heart, spirit. You have to hit the drum with your heart, it's spirit, so that it's gonna vibrate and echo and reach to other people's heart. So that should be the purpose of hitting and making the sound with taiko.
Right, so if I'm hitting with focus and attention, it is attention on what the other people around me are also playing. And it's not thinking about, where am I going to go for dinner after taiko? I'm very hungry. What pizza place? And then I'm forgetting Isamigoma, which I played 100 times. So this is really a principle of being in the moment. So you've taken a stand, you've strengthened your body, your stance is low, you're feeling the taiko and the drumming through your whole body, and all your energy is focused on the drum, and you're striking that way. So one of the teachers that's in Suwa Taiko Association said to me, we have a saying that you don't hit the taiko like you're slapping a dog. Right? Right?
Poor dog.
I know, the poor dog, you know. And the poor taiko. We really give our focus and our attention to the music And that has to change. With every minute is a new minute, every beat is a new beat.
Yeah.
So we give all of our attention to the drum as we strike at the minute we're hitting.
Yeah. I think like when I go to performances and see some other Taiko players playing, sometimes I think, wow, this person's like sounds really powerful, but it doesn't necessarily mean this person has so much like strength and like a muscle, but it just sounds very powerful. And then I think it's because these players are really doing uchinarase, like hitting with heart and soul and spirit, and that makes such a special, powerful sound that you can't make just with your muscle. I think that's the sound that we need to aim for.
I think if everyone does it and comes together and also like kind of feels how the other ones are drumming, it makes it together, creates a better song too. If everyone is focused on their own drum, but also what they hear from the other players in the group.
Yeah.
So we talked about the fourth Suwa Taiko principle being striking the drum with focus and attention. But we know that that focus and attention has to be there even before we rise to strike the drum. And very often this kamae is what we call Songkill. I usually say it wrong, like Sangyo or Sangyo. Songkill. And this is a position very low to the ground and very strong, facing forward in preparation to really rise. So it is like being at the starter block if you were in a race, beginning to run a race. So this is full of energy. This is not resting. Sometimes we have to maintain Songkill for 3-5 minutes, depending on what piece it is. Sometimes we have to move very quickly out of Songkill and then very quickly back to Songkill. So the first principle, really developing the strength in your lower body, really goes to this because you're sitting here very strong and then it's time to jump up and if you're like me, your knees and your little sort of what we call geriatric taiko. So that's why I'm asking Yumi to demonstrate. There's a very specific way that we position we take in Songkill, in Suwa Taiko especially. And Yumi? So this is a crouch. It's a position with the left knee on the ground, the right foot on the ground, with the right knee slightly lifted. So this is she can almost stand and spring from this position. The arms are stretched out to either side with the bachi very strongly pointing to the ground. She has a nice, strong, straight back and facing straight out. Now, Yumi's mask has tongue sticking out, but no tongue sticking out during Songkill. So this position you might maintain for a very, very extended period of time while others are playing a solo or just preparing the introduction to play other pieces. So Yumi, can you spring up from that?
It's hard, and I think the first you kind of have to maintain poker face to kind of hide. It's hard, and then the next step is not to feel pain. And I think that's like way advanced level. But if you keep practicing that, you can do that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes without pain, and that's where we want to go. But that takes time.
And it takes energy.
Yeah.
It takes energy to be still.
Yeah.
And especially to be still while other people are playing, because you don't want the audience to see you weaving and
Yeah.
beginning, and you
You can
become the part
kakegoi
of the
though.
show.
Yeah.
You can do
but-
kakegoi.
yes,
You should not
kakegoi.
move around, but you can at least do the kakegoi
Sure.
Yes,
and
yes.
support the other players who are
Mhm.
playing at the moment.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Here,
Sandan Gaishi!
your